Hello, guys, and welcome to another video from Between the Ropes TV. Guys, I've got a very special guest with us. Again, we've got a former amateur star and professional featherweight boxer, Emmanuel Addo. Emmanuel, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, and you?
Yeah, I'm absolutely fantastic. I'm delighted to have you on the channel, and I'm delighted to be speaking with you. But I always ask people coming on our channel, particularly for our subscribers, they want to know, Emmanuel, how did you get into boxing?
I get it through boxing to street fighting, like fighting the guys every day on the street. And a man approached me and said, "Hey, you can be a boxer rather than just wasting the time fighting the streets because being a boxer can hand you money, can give you money."
Mm-hmm.
So the next couple of days, I went to the gym to the late former coach Alloway. Say, "Coach, hey, I want to learn boxing."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Hey, you have a better background in school, so why do you want to stop school and do boxing?" I said, that's what I just like doing because only God knows the best. So I started boxing, and then within the next 4 years, I was able to add a national championship, and I won, and I was qualified to be a black bomber and travel to Commonwealth Games in Australia, which is Melbourne 206.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
So
that's how you. It's so basically, in terms of an amateur career, you did quite a bit. But
yeah,
before I wanted to
I never lost an amateur fight as a Ghanaian boxer.
So for those that don't know, you box for the Black Bombers, which is the Ghanaian amateur national
Yeah,
squad. And as an amateur for them, when you performed for them, when you wore their vest, you never lost.
I never lost another amateur fight. I only lost in international. I lost like 3 fights in outside. I won the zonal championship and I won the bronze. That's where I was, but I've never lost in my native country like Ghana. I've never
Okay.
lost there before.
Excellent, excellent. That's a very rare and very difficult feat. So hats off to you, man. That deserves respect. One of the things that I read about you is obviously you've gotten on there your nickname Mosquito. How did
Yeah.
that come about? Because bro, Mosquito to me doesn't that brings me that makes me scared. That brings me shivers. So how did you get the nickname Mosquito?
Him when I started boxing, I was little, I was slim and I was very tall, and I moved more faster like mosquito. So how people name me Mosquito. So I was quick in the ring, moving like how mosquito wanna bite you. He's gonna move
Yeah,
around.
yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah.
moving in the ring. So people, hey, mosquito, and I said, okay, that name sounds cool. So I picked that name on me, and then I started working on it. Started doing like, hey, if I want to be a mosquito, then I need to bite, and you're never gonna hit me back.
Exactly,
That's
and
what
that
I like.
and that fits in with your style because
Yeah,
from watching you and watching how you've been as a pro, you're very much on the outside, aren't you?
yeah,
So that was your style, and you were
right,
quite elusive. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Um, going back to your amateur career, you mentioned there, you were captain, weren't you, of the uh Ghana the Black Bombers, the amateur boxing squad.
yeah.
Back in 2006. Sorry?
I was an assistant captain to
Oh,
box.
assistant captain. Sorry,
Yeah,
assistant captain. But didn't you win gold and silver in a couple of years before that in the African Zone
right, right,
Championships?
right. I did.
Yeah, yeah, and that mustn't have been easy because when you look at who was in your squad at Ghana, you had people like Obadesai, you had Mango. Mango was in your team as well.
Anja Mami,
So
Franja, Oburai, Basti Samel, Mesaku, Yakini, and a lot of great guys. But
mm,
we're all trying our best just to because we're not having the more fundamental workouts from the
mm.
to the games. We always struggle to just go to the games, and maybe at the end of the day, we try to bring better results.
And the reason why I've asked that is because when you look at say Team GB, Team Great Britain,
Mm.
they also had their struggles, in the late 90s and the early noughties, around 2000. Then all of a sudden, Audley Harrison won a gold medal in the Olympic Games in 2000. Amir Khan won a silver medal, and
Mm-hmm.
then Team GB was given a lot of money and a lot of funding.
Right.
If that team, as talented as it was in 2006, if they had been properly funded, where do you think you guys could have ended up?
I mean, we're gonna all end up winning medals for the nation because we were all prepared for the attacks and we were fighting with our heart.
Mm,
When a guy is fighting with the heart, pushing out all it takes
mm,
to go into the ring, dedicate
mm,
himself for the man nation, for himself, mean shows that he want to win something for the nation. And we have a great team.
mm,
We
mm,
have a great team that time. We have Manjo Plant.
mm.
We have me. We have Prince Otoprojani. We have Amber Saraku. We have Basti Samuel, Buddha Sai,
Yeah.
Yakimi, and Aruna. We have a strong team, going to the games, but we're only able to bring bronze medal because we're not having like international competitions, we're not having camping, we're not having like a training tour. Because training tour builds up a fighter's experience and open up his exposure.
Mhm,
How
mhm,
are you gonna meet at the games? What are you gonna learn? Who are you gonna meet?
mhm,
And it opens your mind on what you are gonna do.
mhm, mhm. Yeah,
Exactly. But
I completely
never
agree. I
go on.
completely agree. When you look back at your amateur achievements, because you've achieved quite a lot, what would you say is your highlight? Because I can spend all day reading out what you've achieved, but what would you say is your highlight from your amateur career?
For my whatever highlight is like winning the national championship for many times.
Mm, mhm,
Beating the guys that nobody could beat. Like Manjo Planch was a warrior in that I beat him like thrice, and in the whole of history of Ghana, nobody has beaten that before. Manjo Planch, nobody has beaten before. I'm the only Ghanaian guy who could beat him back to back.
mhm. Which is some feat because he was a real talent, wasn't he?
He was super talented. He's a hard hitting boxer. He's a puncher, and I'm a boxer.
Mm,
Including his fight. That's why people name him the Mosquito.
mhm, mhm,
Because I bite him, I bite him move. He couldn't even catch me.
mhm. Because you had that speed, the speed of
Right.
hand, the speed of foot. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, excellent, excellent. I just want to talk a bit about your pro career. Obviously, you had, was it 13 fights, 12 wins?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I had a 13 fight, 12 win, and the one loss was in Cameroon. It was like a robin that
mm.
they robbed me because how could I be fighting with one hand? This hand was okay, but I was more skillful.
What happened to your hand? What happened to your hand? I never got to the bottom of understanding that one. What happened?
Nothing happened to hand. I was just more skillful,
Okay.
like the style of Pene Whitaker.
Oh, okay. Right,
Having
right.
more style. And the Cameroonians, I've never had a professional boxing before. All the referees were like an amateur referees
Mm,
into a professional, so they don't know the rules of amateur and the rules of professional.
mhm, mhm,
And the referee that officially fight was an amateur. He never knows anything. So I would have fight with one hand. And
mm,
they told me I lost. But the whole arena stood to me, and the president of the boxing in Cameroon stood up and gave me 30,000 safer for a great performance.
mhm,
And it was like they never seen a boxer before fighting with one with his arm I had, one on my back, and just using my jab, moving around my head like Penel we take a start. So the whole Cameroon was so rallied behind me. They gave me a lot of money. And after I came back, I was like, okay, it's boxing.
mm.
You lose some, you win some, but that is not a good lose.
But you went on to have several good wins after that. Let's not get too caught up on that defeat because you had
Right.
several good wins after that.
Yeah.
But obviously your career, I believe, ended in 2013. But and obviously you've come over to America. But I read that you did a lot of good sparring. You sparred people like Joseph Abiko.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sparred some. Who was the best? Who was the best boxer you sparred with?
And you tell
Okay.
he's one of the best boxer. I think he could be a world champion.
Mm,
Nitela was one of the best boxers I've sparred with because the guy, he's like a chameleon. Chameleon, right?
Yeah, I know chameleon like changes. Yeah,
Yes,
adapts easily. Adapts. Yeah.
that guy is the same like Chameleon.
Mm.
And the way he fight, the way I could put things together, the guy, I thought he could be a world champion. I sparred that last of Joseph Clottey, Agboko, big grape George Ashi, big guys, big guy, because I was one of the prospects that my coach Allo will look at me.
Hmm.
And because of my speed and the way I move, Allo always want me to spar with them because my speed is super.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, and I think that clearly played to your advantage, didn't it?
Yeah,
Because you not only that, but you're getting the strength from wrestling on the inside with the bigger guys. You're getting
right,
that strength as well. Again, that helps you. But I
right.
just wanted to fast forward. Obviously, you've when was it that you decided to come to America, and what was your reason for that?
I had a fight in I had one fight in Ghana. I think a guy that I was talking to online said, "Hey, I need to help you to help me." And that's literally he came to Ghana to watch my fight. And after the fight, he said, "Okay, I want to help you." So he helped me get a P1, came to America. But when I came to America, I had a problem with a sickness that prevented
Okay.
fighting. I said, "Okay." So the doctor told me, "Hey, son, you know what? That is an end of life. If you can't fight again, you can be a trainer to impart whatever you have into the keys." And I say, "That's a good advice, man. I'm gonna take that." So from there, I started moving, started pushing myself. Okay, then let me be a trainer. Then I started imparting things. I went back home to train some more fighters. I trained like George Ashi, Oboda Sai, Felix Williams, and all other good guys. I'm training them. And
Mm.
the way I train them, they love it because my hand speed and the techniques of training was great.
Hmm. Hmm.
So after my boxing ended with the sickness, I couldn't fight again. I never say, "Oh God, I blame God for it." But no, he's saying everything we should give thanks to him. So I don't know what to say. Just to give thanks to God for not doing what I wanted to do.
And
Because
that's the thing. And that's the thing, isn't it? It's almost like one door closed, but another one opens, isn't it?
yeah, because
Yeah.
every destiny me to be a world champion because the guys I sparring they are professional boxer and an amateur. But the
Mm.
way I spar with them, in some of them I beat them, some of them I throw them, maybe I knock them down. Most of them, the nation was behind me. When
Mm.
people watch my boxing, they always see a style of Pene Whitaker and me.
Mm.
So everybody was like, "This guy will be a world champion, this guy will be a world champion." But what human can destiny is not what God can destiny.
Mhm, mhm,
The
mhm,
destiny of God is different from the destiny of humanity.
mhm,
But
mhm.
it's the humanity that blesses humanity. Because what I know, God doesn't come from heaven to bless you, but you can bless me by helping me to get a job or get a fight, to go fight to be a winner.
Mm.
That's what I know in life.
Yeah, yeah, and that message runs deep, and I think the best way to describe that is, it's a case of passing on the knowledge that you built up.
Yeah.
To other aspiring young boxers and also boxers in their prime. You mentioned a few there. Um, I suppose the interesting thing is there's a lot of Ghanaian boxers that have come over to America. Some have come over to the UK as well, where I am. But when you've got people like Richard Comey coming across, Joseph Egbiko, who you sparred with, Isaac Dogbe, Royal Storm coming across, is a fellow Ghanaian boxer. Um, how do you feel when you see these guys now pushing forward for world titles? Because previously, and me and you have spoken about this before, when you mentioned Ghanaian boxers, in the past you had like Ike Quartey and Azuma Nelson, and then you had a spell where Ghanaian boxers would just use the stepping stones for easy victories for people. But now people are starting to recognize that actually there's some talent in Ghana. Do you think that actually that's right? There's even more talent in Ghana, or do you think actually that's it's just few and far between? How do you assess the situation of Ghanaian talent now?
Man, Ghana have a great talent in boxing. We have great talent.
Hmm.
What most of them don't understand is that as a fighter, if you have a great record, when you come to America without a promoter, or a manager, and people see you, they just want to use your record for other fighters. Because fighters, promoters want to build their fighters to the big stage for a big
Yes.
money.
Yes.
I've lived in America for like a couple of years, more years, up to like 7 to 8 years to 9 years now. I've worked with some of our trainers, I've worked with some reporters, I've worked with some of my managers. You know, Ghana boxers have a great experience and a great record. But when they come to America and they had the money, dollars, and when they convert it into the city, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a big money. Let me go take the fight. But he's not thinking of let me protect my record to a big fight.
Yes.
Because they don't have people to guide them. Hey, you're gonna pass this way or use this way. The best way you can pass is hold on to your record. I'm gonna get you a promoter who's gonna also protect you to the worst stage. But everybody is hungry for something, so you can't just block them from doing what they want to do. You know.
Yeah. Oh, that's great advice. That's great advice. And what I'm thinking now, and I'm sure the subscribers who are watching this will think how useful and how much experience you can have. If we got an up and coming Ghanaian prospect in America, you would be ideal for them to speak to, because you've got a lot of good things to say.
Right? Because believe me, Kome went through the channel of Ahmed Bediako, right? Because once every day you have somebody who always got your back and protect your image. Because when you understand the word boxing is known to be the noble art of self-defense. How do you defend yourself from being hit? By just moving away, by just dodging, by just moving aside, or by just slipping out of a punch. But how do you get people protect your record or resume to a better money? You have a promoter who will say, hey, I don't want you to fight this fight, just dog this fight. We're going to take this fight. No, we're going to take this fight. Because you always have to have the experience on how to project your boxer to the world stage. Because if you look at boxing in America, if I know I'm going to lose to you, I'm not going to fight you. I'm just going to keep my resume clean out to the big stage. Then I'm going to beat the guys that I'm going to beat and go to the stage for a big money. Because everybody want to pay day.
Yeah, definitely. Some wise words there. And just finally, just before I let you go there, Emmanuel, I know you're doing some training. You're doing some bits of training. Are you training amateurs? Are you training pros? Just for the people watching this, just so they know.
I'm training pro. I'm training amateur. I train
Okay.
amateurs in the gym. I train pros in the gym. I train everybody because they always call me the people's champ because I train everybody.
Yeah.
I take what people don't want and make it better.
Okay. So give us an idea of which pros you train in, Emmanuel.
Oh, I train a guy called Joseph Allegela. He's a super middleweight. I train Brandy Sanchez. He's a 135 pounder. He's a 3-0. Joe is a 4-2, and he's a young upcoming boxers. And you know, I really want to impart all my great knowledge into the stars of Ghana. But it's hard to bring them over here to due to the visa issue. But we're trying to make things the better way for me to have a camp for like Ghana.
Yeah.
Like where I'm gonna have a Ghanaian camp where I'm gonna have boxers from Ghana that we can work with.
Excellent idea.
And
Excellent idea.
when I get a promoter, I say, hey, I'm gonna help you that. Like, I can get an apartment. I have a gym where I can take the guys to and help them out. Because boxers cannot sell better in the American system because they don't know how to use the platform of social media, market themselves. All right. No, but when you have a fighter, you show him, hey, go to social media, tell him, hey, I can beat American, I can beat Floyd Mayweather, I can beat this guy. Once the people hear the story of you saying this, they want to know who you are, what you are capable of doing. Because there's a proverb in our language says, when I say I'm gonna beat you, it means I'm standing on a stone. That when I throw that stone is gonna eat you. There's a big problem. Because once the father say, Once I challenge you, say I'm gonna beat you. I know what I saw in you, and I know what I can do to beat you.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's a point that me and you have had a big discussion on what Ghanaian boxers need to do to get themselves out there, if you like. So that's definitely a point. But what I'll do then, Emmanuel, are you up for coming on again to go into more detail about Ghanaian boxing, in the state of Ghanaian boxing?
Right, I'm doing all the best to help Ghanaian boxers had a better life, because one thing I keep saying myself that after boxing you must live a life.
Yeah,
If you can't be a promoter, you can be a trainer. If you can't be a trainer, you can be a manager. If you can't be a manager, you can be a matchmaker.
yeah,
Then you have to know that, look at Floyd. Floyd is not a businessman after boxing. He's just doing like a noble exhibition to make money.
hmm,
He's still getting boxes for his training. He is managing and promoting Gervonta Davis. He's making the guy a superstar.
yeah.
If I have half a money, half a million, I can make like 10 to 15 world champions from Ghana. I promise.
Exactly, and that's the point where that's a point that we've been on about. It's a lack of funds and a lack of
Yeah.
resources. Just quickly, Emmanuel, just before we wrap up, people are going to want to know what your social media platforms are, so they can follow you on social media. Can you just shout out your YouTube channel, your Facebook, so people can watch you and watch all your stuff?
Okay, I can. I'm gonna send it to you. Once you're gonna send it to them. My Facebook is Emmanuel Mosquito. You can follow me. I'll be doing more boxing about Africa, Europe, and everything. I'm here to help everybody. And my other social network is Emmanuel Addo on IG,
Yeah.
and Twitter is Emmanuel Addo. And I'm gonna send you my YouTube channel to the girl boxer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
excellent. And that's about your daughter, who's a real
right.
prospect.
Yeah,
And I'm telling everybody now, you need to
yeah,
look out for Emmanuel's daughter,
right.
because in 5, 6 years she's going to be a special talent.
Yeah, because I'm training her up for the next Olympics
Mm,
in the US.
yeah.
I want her to complete for the US, but I don't want her to complete for Ghana, because the reason might be more great, because the opportunity he might get in America, it might be way more better than the Ghana.
Oh, I completely understand. Look at Clarissa Shields and the
Yes,
opportunities she's getting, Michaela
right,
Mayer. So I
right,
completely understand. She'll always be a
right.
Ghanaian,
Yeah.
but it's about the opportunities, and that's what we do. As a parent myself, I know that feeling. So yes, what I'll do, Emmanuel, is when I get that YouTube link, I'll put it in the comments so people can see that.
Mhm.
Guys, please check out Emmanuel and all the good work he's doing. He's raising the profile of Ghanaian boxing. He's bringing it to the attention of the Americans. He's bringing it to the attention of us here in Europe and in the
Yeah,
UK. Guys, check him out. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.
yeah, man. Stay blessed, buddy.